Mr. Anaggo Bhattacharya is currently working as an assistant professor and HOD in electrical engineering at NIT Mizoram. He has over 14 years academic experience. His research interests include microgrid, power system optimization and deregulation. He has published so many papers, international journal and conference in reputed conference and journal. He is also regular speaker on human values. He will give the lecture in this session. So I am requesting Mr. Anaggo Bhattacharya to deliver his lecture.
Is my screen visible to all? Hello, am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Is my meeting window visible to you?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Sir, visible.
So the PPT is visible to all?
PPT actually.
No, PPT is not visible, sir.
The PPT we are able to see your WebEx snapshots.
Let me do one thing.
Yeah,
Is it coming?
Now it is visible, sir.
Is it coming?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay, fine. So, good afternoon, everyone. I welcome you all in this Atal FDP that we have already been doing. And this is more or less, I will term it as a breakaway session, which it is more should be an interactive one rather than an one-way session, because stress management is more often it is not a discrete topic, it is more a Broadway topic where we cannot find anything absolute related to stress management. And the matter has come foremost not only for the past few years in the present scenario, it has increased manifold more so in this COVID circumstances. The reason is that suddenly we have to change our perspective, our way of thought, our way of life. Everything has got all of a sudden change in the COVID scenario. Now it has got a bit more regular activities than what it was used to be in the month of March, April, May, June. But still, it is something where we have to live with it. So let us discuss about this. It will be more of an informative section where we can discuss both way, so that at the end of the day we can have some ideas, some discussion, I may also learn something from you. So it is a both of a mutual discussion from all of us. So if I say the term stress, what is the first thing that comes to your mind? I would like to hear from you. Anyone?
Unhealthy state of the brain.
Unhygienic state of the brain.
Unhealthy state.
Yes, unhealthy state of the brain. Dr. Sunil has told unhealthy state of the brain. Of course, that is one definitely unhealthy state of the brain. Anything else anyone has to add up to it? You see, this is the definition that is taken as from the literature. State is a state of disharmony or a threat to hemostasis. That means ability to maintain a relatively stable internal state despite the changes in the external world. So, the basic thing that we can understand from this, stress is more towards the mental condition, as Dr. Sunil has elaborated, rather than what it is there. So whatever is there, both from the internal or external, whatever is affecting our mental peace or mental state of mind, we say those are stresses. In the present world, all of us know that stress will be there. We cannot say that stress won't be a part of life. Stress will be a part of life, but the more important thing is how we are dealing with it, what is our approach towards it, or how we find stress that is affecting our daily routine or affecting our peace of mind or the health of mind and whatsoever. So those are the things that is coming, and the stresses are the elements that is causing the stress. There may be many alternatives which we will be discussing in our session about the state relievers, the state management techniques, the coping techniques. All will be doing this as a discussion more towards. So the basic stage is that is whatever is affecting me, my mental state. That is what it is coming to be the stress. Now states, once again, this is what more of an elaborate definition which has been first coined by Hans Sell in the year 1936. It is stated as the non-specific response of the body to any demand for change. Medically, it has been observed that there are thousands of symptoms which may not be related directly to the stress, but which is an effect of stress. Someone is having a fever, a shivering fever. Someone is having a bowel syndrome. Someone is shaking vibrantly. So all this, apparently the heart attack is definitely one of the things where stress, if increased to a maximum, people can also have a heart attack. But apparently people or the doctors or the medical professionals don't understand that it is caused by a certain thing called stress. So stress is something which is not in the students' world, though it is discussed, but not practiced, rather I should say. In our lifestyle, we do not give much importance to it, to a stress management. We go to a doctor to get or treatment for any disease that is having. But stress may not be a disease, but it is something which is giving us slow poison, I can say, over the years of life. We may lose the focus, we may lose the time, we may lose our energy. We don't understand it, but maybe after 5, 10, 15 years or whatever time, if we look back and see something has happened where we could have taken a control, but we have failed to take a control. So that is where the stress management techniques or whatever is coming. So here in the present day context, stress are generally considered as being synonymous with distress, and dictionaries defined it as physical, mental, or emotional strain or tension, or a condition or feeling experienced when a person perceives that demands exceed the personal and social resources. Definitely, this is the main important. When the capacities or the demand that is expected from me or the things that I like do not happen by choice, the things that gets to our mind is called a stress. Now, these are the various types of stresses. Let me go through this discussion more in a rather than the PPT mode. Let us take some examples. So the basic problem in stress is our mind. More than anything else, the problem with stress is our mind. The problem of stress is mind. So the mind is something which is our own part. But the mind, the basic nature of mind is wandering. This is the nature of mind. We cannot say the mind won't wander. And because mind has wandered, all the scientific innovations has came up. All the literary grades, whatever they have thought, they have failed, has put down in the literature, has came out because the mind wanders. If the body is stable, the body physical existence may be stationary at a particular point, but my mind is not stationary. Mind is something which is wandering throughout. There is no limit where it should be wandering. So this is more the mind is all about. So wandering is good. should we allow the mind to wander in its own way? This is the first thing that we can put forward in this particular discussion. What are your thoughts? You can share with me. That will be a better. Anyone wants to share something? Anyone likes to share something?
Yes.
Yes, anyone like to share? What about your thoughts regarding the
Yes.
wandering of mind? How much of you actually face this issue regularly? That your mind is wandering and you are not able to focus to the work that you need to do? How many of you actually feel this?
Hello, sir.
Hello? I can hear you.
One.
Yes, I can hear you. Am I audible? Yes, Professor Dhananjay?
That
I am asking, how many of you face the issue in your daily life that your mind is wandering and you are unable to control it, which is affecting your regular activities? How many of you actually face this?
mind should stay.
Sir, to the best of my knowledge, everyone
Yes.
suffers that either socially or professionally.
It is both together, combination of everything I am saying.
Yes.
It's not
So
only
everyone,
professional.
it's a very much part and characteristic of a human being. Without stress, we cannot work, and with stress, with lot of stress, we cannot have healthy life also.
Yeah, definitely. Actually, in my later part, we'll discuss about positive and negative stress. Stress are actually both positive and negative. It's not only about the negative, there is positivity also that we will
Yes.
discuss, of course. But my question is, how many of you actually face the problem that because your mind is wandering, your work is getting affected, a regular work? How many of you actually face it? Maybe you may not face it much, or maybe you may face it more. But this is what the nature of mind is.
Everyone, to the best of my knowledge.
Okay, that's fine. So the problem is always towards the mind. So the first thing that we should understand is that mind is what controlling the stress. And what is this mind? This mind is something which is wandering and which is getting affected by the things, by the surroundings, by the people that we find close, by them. This is what the mind does. And this is what the discipline of the mind actually comes to play. The discipline of the mind definitely comes to play is that your mind should wander. But if you are true to some work, your mind should channelize and wander in that particular direction. Rather than thinking what is happening to India-Australia match all the time, you can always think what is actually the work that is hand in hand, and for that, what the thoughts process you should have, and for that, if your mind needs to wander and travel to any distance, it should be traveling. So it should be. Yes. Sorry, I am unable to hear you. Excuse me, anyone is asking something or? Okay, anyways. So these are the few things. I will share the PPT with you. I will just discuss more of an informative or informal way rather than going through. So what is stress? In a nutshell, we can say stress occurs when the pressure is greater than the resource. And the resource over here is the capacity of the mind. When our mind is not able to tolerate. So how these things are happening and what are the things? If you look at this particular, anyone wants to say something, you can also put on the chat box also. Anyone wants to speak something, you can put on the chat box also. Otherwise, it's better if you can mute yourself. look at this data that has been found. There is still in our daily-to-day life, there is still a misnomer that higher education is, or the education people are more often easy to go work. This is something which the belief is still there in the society, which is actually a misnomer. And that has been found that more than 70% of higher education staff reporting high or very high level of stress. So the people who always used to say, oh, teaching is an easy job, or if you are in an education profession, it is a very easy thing. But you see the actual data says something less. 70% or more, the higher education staff is reporting high or very high levels of stress. So here all of us as assembled are academicians, and more or less many people are finding this stress. It may be related to your work, may be related to your work and personal life balance, may be related to your research, may be related to anything else, but all these things are actually culminating together and creating a pressure on you where the mind is unable to sustain what we are saying that it is stress. Many people are workaholic and doing the work, but even they say that we do not find time for ourselves to do something that I want, to do something I want. Those things are definitely not happening. So that is where the stress is coming up. 29% of people say their bosses expect them to work even on their vacation. And this has also been increased while we are doing the work from home activities in the COVID situation. No matter whatever you are working, how many of you are facing, even in the night, if you whether you are expected to do something online, whether it is a leave or not, this has happened. And in corporate sector, this is more common that even if you are on a vacation, people expect you or your bosses expect you that this is what your vacation, which was supposed to be a vacation for your enjoyment, turns out to be a working thing, which is also creating more stress. As per the study, it has been found only 25% of respondents, the leaders model sustainable work practices. Such employees were 55% more engaged, 77% more satisfied at work, and 2.1 times more likely to stay at the company. That means what? Only 25% has agreed that their bosses or the work practice that is followed in their particular organization is actually helping them to manage their stress. Most of the organizations, what they are complaining or people are finding is it is actually contributing to stress rather than helping to manage it, because the work pressure and the pressure is increasing. And we all agreed together that stress is a part of life. Only thing that we can do is how we can manage it. That is what the stress is all about. 33% say work-life balance in their number one concern over compensation, advancement, and job stability. So 1/3 of the whatever the survey has been conducted, and these are all standard, whatever I am telling you, these are all standard surveys, nothing I have put forward. 1/3 is saying that work-life balance is more important even than promotion or something related to job. So all people find it that there is a problem regarding the work and the personal life. Now, these are not necessarily the signs of stress that I am sharing with you. These are not the only signs that is available. There can be more. But these are in general, I have shared something. You may come up and share something more which you wanted. Change in appetite, difficulty in sleeping, forgetfulness, acting out, social withdrawal or avoidance, increased use of caffeine and other substances, loss of concentration, mood swings. These are the behavioral patterns. I have told you there may be more. Actually, these things cannot be put forward, but in a broad way, these are the more behavioral patterns that is observed when there is a stress that is happening in you. So that is the problem that happens in the behavioral pattern changes if there is a stress. Maybe you find someone is sleeping too much, which apparently may say he or she is having peace of mind, so sleeping. But apparently that may turn out that he or she is too stressed, which is causing him or her to be sleeping more. So we cannot define what is the actual condition that is happening to that particular person for that particular behavior, because that is something most people who are having stress have a tendency to withdraw from the problem rather than to address it or discuss it. This is what happens. Many of the persons in today's world not even knows that they are in huge stress, but they cannot figure it out what is going wrong. This is also one of the primary things that happens in most of the urban lifestyle. People do not know that they are in stress, but their activities or many other things is getting affected, which they are unable to know or figure it out why that is happening. Can stress be positive? As I have told, yes, stress can also be positive. Stress can motivate you to meet your goals. The stress of a deadline can motivate you to finish the assignment. A fire alarm can cause stress that alerts you to avoid danger. Planning a vacation, getting promoted to work. Stress can be positive. Apart from this, there are few people who normally are very much laid back or very much okay, but suddenly if they finds a deadline, or suddenly if someone says a negativity to them or about the abilities, they find it or take it as an extra motivation to prove that or to get themselves done within the time frame, or they get charged up to do whatever you have told about me is negative, I want to show you, and the performance increases. So that is also observed to stress, that to some it may be turned out to be positive. Again, stress is a very subjective matter. To some it may be positive, the same thing to some may be a negative. So all these are the stresses that is there, and this is the positive stress. A fire alarm definitely will cause a panic among people, because suddenly a fire alarm has gone on, means there is a fire alert. You have to be panicked, you have to run away to a safe place. But again, that is better than not to get an alarm. So that is also be classified as a positive stress. Now we will figure it out few coping strategies, and more we figure it out, more things will come up in the frame. So the first thing that we have discussed is the mind. Mind is the problem, and the mind should be disciplined. If the mind is not disciplined, if discipline is not inculcated in our activities to a certain way, then things are very much a problem. I don't know how many of you face that in the morning while you put on the alarm, you don't find it to get awake by the sound of an alarm, or you feel to snooze it. How many of you feel it actually? While you set an alarm in the morning, how many of you actually feel, no, I should get a more sleep, let us snooze it for another 10 minutes or another 15 minutes or whatever? Do you feel it in the morning when you have set a target to wake up early?
Yes,
I'm
sir.
speaking of early risers only.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
It's like that I'm
Professor
sleeping
Snehal Kumar has said
for,
yes. What
more
about
10
others?
minutes.
Yes. And anyone else? You see, the funny part is we ourselves actually set the alarm, and we ourselves push ourselves that we should wake up at that particular time. It is the mind who is determining. Again, it is the mind which is betraying. The mind knows there is stress, but the mind is not ready, ready to accept there is stress. So that is the peculiar behavior of the mind. The mind is there for everything, and the mind is actually self-conflicting with each other. The same person within the same mind, 3 or 4 different conflicting things goes inside. And when you are happening, you find to have a logic. Somewhere down the line you read you need 7 hours of sleep, you need 8 hours sleep, you calculate, oh, it is not yet 7 hours, it is not yet 8 hours. Let me put forward the snooze mode and sleep another more. So that is where it happening. When these things happen, you all suddenly remember, because your mind is trying to take control of your superficial or the subconscious things, which is actually preventing to a task which you yourself has set up forward. So that is where the discipline comes from. The discipline means we should set a target which is realistic to achieve, and which we should have to achieve without any fail. That is the first discipline that we should learn. Even like while this session is going on, ideally you should, most of them, you should be joining by 3. Maybe many of you have not joined. This is where it comes, that whatever is happening, I should be disciplined myself to figure it out what is going on. Anywhere, any walks of life, that is the best thing. So the day starts in the morning, and the moment you snooze the alarm in a regular basis, your lifestyle is actually not getting disciplined. You are already getting 10, 15, 20, 30 minutes late for whatever you are supposed to do, which is actually creating the problems. And that problems piles up together, and maybe a certain period of time that gives us stress, that gives us exhaustion, that gives us frustration. Many of you must have seen that while you return in your office from your college activities or in institute or university, after a long day, you find it very tiring and feeling like I should sit in the sofa, I should be taking relaxed. And suddenly you find the kid that is there in the home is coming running and having all the activity stuff with full of energy. Have you seen this, or do you disagree with it? You can use the chat window also to interaction. That will be better if you, because we'll be doing few activities also. So I need this interaction. Otherwise, I don't get where you are right now. If you see this, suddenly the kid that is there in the home is coming running. And if you monitor the kid's activities throughout the day, he is running, shouting, doing all sorts of nuisances, which is full of bundle of energy. But a grown-up adult at the office, if he figures out the activities may be much less than the kid what it is doing, but the stress level is 1,000 times higher than what it is doing. It is because most of the time our mind is wandering and our mind is unable to take the control of the work that we are doing, which is giving us fatigue and exhaustion. The kid is physically more active, more energetic, because the kid is doing whatever things that he or she wants to do. She is playing, she is working, she is doing whatever she wants to do. So that is not giving him any stress. But for a grown-up adult, whatever he is doing throughout the day, that is giving him more stress. In this connection, another thing that comes to the fray is the time management, which we can discuss a very bit little about in this class. So time management is something which is also very much relevant while we discuss about the stress factor. So time management we can put forward and maybe discuss in a very brief way, but let us share this. What happens to the stress? Your boss or your office staff may say negativity about you. The students may say suddenly, or students may say like your lecture. In your home, your loved ones have complained against you. You have got thousands of tasks together which you are unable to achieve. And when they retaliate back, you say it is the stress. Agree with me or not? Your boss or supervisor is speaking many things, all negativity. But that is affecting us enormously. So, all these things are happening. Can we control those things? First tell me, can we control those things? Yes or no? I'm not getting any response from anyone. Yes? Can we control? No. Someone told yes. How can I control someone wants to say negativity about me, or some event, or some students are saying, sir, I are unable. How can we control that part? That part we can't control. What we can control is that how to react to that situation, and that control is in our hand, and that is where how our mind responds to that system. How we respond to that system. So you can take this as event. The event is someone is telling negativity about you, the politics that is going in your office, losing a beloved one, whatever event you are saying, all this, those are all events. And the important thing is how you yourself is reacting to it. That is where the things comes up, how you yourself are reacting to that particular stuff. So you cannot control the events. Forget about it. You don't know, there is no control of yourself. What is the thing that is controlled in you? The control in you is how we are reacting to it. And how this reaction is coming? By acceptance. If you are able to accept whatever is happening, that is the first thing that you will be having a peace with yourself. Then you will find out more logical solution to many things that is happening. First and foremost, you should have a acceptance. And if you are acceptance, if someone is saying negativity about you, you will be having a positivity out of it. Positivity in the sense, okay, he is saying negativity about me. Okay, he will say like that. Let me see what I can do about it. Is there any fault in myself or something which I can do better? Or is he just saying like that? Then your logical brain will take care of you. Someone may figure it out. It is very natural. That is happens to many. I don't have this. He or she have this. That first gives to jealousy. But if I say, okay, today I don't have it, it's very natural. Let me try if I can get it. If not, it is no problem. But let me try and give it a chance if I can have it. That actually leads to positivity, which we say as positive psychology or positive emotions. So the way we accept a thing, if we accept a thing, jealousy turns out to be acceptance, positivity. If we, the negativity, all the things that said again to you, if you can learn to accept to it, then it comes to an inspiration. A person, let me tell you in the words of cricket, sledging is very natural, that is done in cricket. This just, it has become very nominal, but at least 10, 15, 20 years, sledging was very much popular, and especially the Australians used to sledge a lot. Good cricketers never got affected to the sledge. Players like Kohli takes the sledging to be too positive and gets charged up to do it. But there are many who gives way to the sledging and perishes. The batsman gets out. This is what happens while how we are reacting to it. So the important thing is that others, whatever they are doing, that is not in our control. What is in our control? The thing that is in our control is what we can do or how we can acceptance. The basic positivity of life is acceptance. Without the acceptance, we cannot say. You'll find many couples keep on fighting throughout their lifetime. They do not get adjusted. The basic problem is that they fail to accept each other for whatever they are. Some have got very problems with the very trivial issues. Some says my child is having this. Those are very trivial. Those actually doesn't create any sense. So the first thing comes is acceptance. You have to have acceptance to take care of all the negativity, be it hatred, be it jealousy, be it any negative psychology. First thing is acceptance. Okay, this has happened. Let me accept it. Once you find the acceptance, then only your logical brain or brain will take care. Now your logical think or brain will take care. This has happened, this is happening, what I can do. He or she may discuss with someone, he or she will try to figure it out, what are the things that I can do. That where comes your action. If your action comes without acceptance, that is a negativity and that will give you negative emotions. So your actions will always be governed by your acceptance. So something plus acceptance will give you positivity. Something acceptance will give you a negativity. This is the bottom line of everything. Once you accept, okay, this has happened, I am accepting it. Now let me figure it out what I can do. This is where once you accept it, your brain automatically will give you positive emotions, positive psychology, and will help to take care of what the thing is. This is something which is very much popular in sports. Now, who are those who takes dope? Though it is illegal, but we can share the experiences. Why they does it? Does they have any problem? No. All are very fit, very healthy. what they do is that they take the doping substance to give them more better than what they are, that the performance. So that means what? Positive psychology or positive emotions is actually giving me a better livelihood approach than what we are having right today. So the basic comes to the acceptance. If I learn accepting things, then suddenly if someone says negative to you, or I know he is my boss. He is there for to say negativity only. That I know because it is his nature and that is a manufacturing defect. I cannot help it. Let him say. Let me figure it out. What are the jobs that is given to me, whether I am able to give it or not. Then suddenly you may figure it out how to manage in that particular situation, or what sort of words or things that we can place in front of him so that it will give a better result. Instead, if you go head on confliction right from the beginning, head on, okay, you are saying this, head on you react to it. What it will give you? It will give you a more argument, more negativity around the environment, which affects your mind and also your whatever the environment you are working, it is also disturbing to it. So the first thing that comes to the thing is acceptance. Without acceptance, we cannot progress. Definitely there will be few things which will be hard to accept in the initial phases, but with time, we have to give time because time is also important. We need to accept it. Unless or until we accept it, we won't be able to figure it out the next best solution. Otherwise, unless and until your logical brain is there, you won't be doing. There are counselors, there are psychologists, whoever are always doing whatever they say. At the end of the day, your mind should mold to that to do that particular thing. So unless or until control, you have a control over your mind, these things won't be happening. So the best things is to get acceptance. Now there are few coping strategies which we will be discussing in a later stage maybe. Under stress feeling, worry, tense, tired, frightened, elated. That is also another thing. There are people who are laughing extremely more than what they should laugh in a situation. People may say that they may be jovial, but that may be that he or she is hiding the stress, which is giving them a laughter which is more which is not required at that particular time. So you never know actually what is the reaction that is coming up. The basic problem is that a person who is behaving in something which is not acceptable, I must say, first we have to figure it out what is that person is going through. We don't know at the back end what that person is going through. We don't know at the person what that happening. Otherwise, we won't be able to understand what is the things that is effective. As we have discussed, stressors may be of two types, external and internal. And these are the few things that we have already mentioned, and these are the external: company takeover, reductions, layoffs, major reorganization. In this COVID scenario, one of the most popular thing that many faced is job loss or reduction in salaries or no increment or hike. This is something suddenly anyone has to figure it out. People are already have got a settled lifestyle. They have got their own loans, own responsibilities towards their families, and suddenly these things comes up. First and foremost, we have to accept this is a COVID, this has happened. Now, what are the best solution that I can get? Whether 2 months, if I work properly, I will get back to the earlier position in the same company, or whether I have to look for different avenues or different ventures where I can innovate myself. Once you accept it, then only different channels will open up. Otherwise, if you fail to accept it, depression will take care of you, which essentially may lead to anything negativity. Oh, I have lost job. What I will do? What I will eat? My kids would do it. Once you go there, you may face accident in the road. You may be feeling suicidal tendencies. You may be feeling very much arrogant. You may be feeling very much violent, or you may be very much drawn towards a particular corner. So all these things will happen if you fail to accept. Acceptance will give you a better understanding of the situation and what you can do. So those are the few things that gives the external stresses in the organization. External stresses in major life events like death of a loved one, divorce or separation, imprisonment, injury, marriage or engagement, loss of job, retirement, other problems, change of financial status. So all those things may come up which is related to the life. So the work and life balance is important. Stress may come up because of your profession, stress may come because of your personal life also. Now, at this point of time, we think we can agree the stress is not only generated with, but it can come from anything of the problem. Before going to these things, I want you to have an activity. I want all of you to have this activity, and I want these things to get notice from you. This is a perceived stress scale. This is one of the things that has been developed in 1980 and has been modified. I want this activity, honestly, all of you to do right now, so that you can have an idea of yourself. There will be a set of questions which I will be sharing with you right now. You have to write the answers or grade the answers according to the given honestly, and then you see what is the level of score that you are getting. So here goes the rule. For each question, choose from the following alternatives. 0 is never, 1 is almost never, 2 is sometimes, 3 is fairly often, 4 is very often. In this category, there are 10 questions that is given. You take 5 minutes off. Each of the question you analyze yourself and put the result. Keep the results with you, but I want all of you to do this activity. So do this now. There are 10 set of questions, and there are 4 gradation that has been given. Honestly, you put forward, do the honest evaluation, because this is something which you are doing for yourself. Another 2 minutes we can give, then we can have the discussion part. So I sincerely wish you all within the next 2 minutes, please try to answer this. This is an activity which may help you. So have you done with it, everyone? Yes or no? I'm not getting to hear anything from anyone.
Done, sir.
Yes, sir, done already.
Okay. So 10 questions you have graded honestly among all. I
Yes.
don't want to know anything. It is up to you. I don't want to know anything. Neither I will ask you to share everything. But it is something a self-assessment test. So it is always you can keep the score with you, but you can do this. So this is this. Now we will see how we can figure it out. The rule is that first reverse your scores for question 4, 5, 7 and 8. Whatever score you have assigned for questions 4, 5, 7 and 8, reverse it. And the reverse rule is, if you have assigned 0, put it 4. If you have assigned 1, put it 3. 2 will remain as 2, 3 equals to 1 and 4 equals to 0. Only reverse the score for 4, 5, 7 and 8. Only for these 4 questions, you reverse the scores, whatever you are having. So suppose 4 someone has put on 3, they should put it 1. And suppose for question 8 someone has put it 1, they should give it 3. Or if they have put it 0, they would put it 4. So once you put the reverse scores for these 4 questions, now add between 1 to 10 with the 4 reverse score. Now add the total score from 1 to 10 with 4, 5, 7 and 8 reversed as the rule given. Do this. Your score will come within a range of 0 to 40. Take 2 minutes off and do this completely.
Sit down.
Done, everyone?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So you got a score between 0 to 40.
Yes.
And this is the range that will tell you what is the amount of stress that you are having. Scores ranging from 0 to 13 would be considered as low stress. Between 14 to 26, it will be moderate. And between 27 to 40 would be perceived as high level of stresses. If you are comfortable enough, share your score. If you are not, no problem. But this will give some sort of, someone has got 33, okay? Someone is 14, very good. 12 is very less, that's very 18. $12, 18, 20, 15, 12 again, 10. That's very good. Madam Mary has got 10. Fortin, 12, 15. So the scores that I am finding you, 20, 18, 12. So from the discussion that we can find you, 12, 12 is very good, 12 is very good, 12 is very good. Most of the people are having moderate stress, some are having very low, which is very good, and some are having a bit higher range. This is not the only method to do self-assessment. Since this is a very small 1.5 hour session, so we cannot assess all the 23 someone has got. Sashwati has got 23. So we cannot assess all together, all the things if together, then we can figure it out. But definitely the perceived stress scale is interesting and important because your perception of what is happening in your life is more important. Consider the idea that 2 individuals would have the same events and experiences in their lives for the past month. Depending on their perception, total score could put one of those individuals in low stress category, and the total score could put the second person in the high stress category. So the perception is actually important. How we are perceiving a certain situation, a certain event. Based on that, 13 we are seeing, that is very good. So based on that, we'll give a certain idea whether we are stressed up or not, and if we are stressed up, how we can help ourselves to get through it. This is the biggest important thing, is how we can get ourselves to get through it. So this was the perceived stress score, which I want you, that you have already done it. Recognizing the problem. The most important point is to recognize the source of the negative stress. And this is for your mind, don't take it as a negativity. Having stress doesn't mean there is a negativity, doesn't mean it is a psychological condition. It is just another thing that is happening, just like you have a cough and cold. Anything like that, nothing more or less than that. So don't have that fear that having stress is, don't have that having stress is something which is related to negativity. So negativity is not a part of your stress. That is the first thing. Second thing is that don't blame yourself. How many of you for any situation blame yourself rather than analyzing the situation? Many people you see spend a majority of the life part thinking of the past events, thinking of the events that has already happened, thinking of the things that they feel that they could have done better, but they feel at lost. Most people do this part and blame themselves. Suddenly, if your boss tells a negativity about you, you accept that part, that there is some problem in me. Rather than you are accept and you feel it, you blaming yourself. Don't blame yourself. That is the most important part. Don't blame yourself. Yes, self-understanding is important. If you are doing something in mistake, you need to rectify. That is also important. But blaming is very bad to yourself. Once you blame yourself, you will continue to blame yourself for all the things that is happening around you. Suddenly you will say, okay, this is happening. I should be this because of my inabilities, because of my incapacities. The more you start to blame yourself, the more negativity will crop up. So the first thing you should forget, don't blame yourself. Rather, analyze the situation and see. If it gets too heavy on you, then only the work you share with someone very close to you. You share with someone professional if you feel so. But first you should have the acceptance and no blaming. Then only the next thing will come up. Work-life balance. This is more important. That is what happening. You see, there are two charts. One is work, another is life. If work is dominant over your life, you see, there will be a family conflict. Your family members, your parents, your wife, your husband, your children may come and say, you are not giving us enough time. There is a problem. You are not doing this work. You are not doing this. All those things will coming up if work is the dominant factor over family life. Again, if your life actually is dominant over the work, your professional work will get hampered. If your professional work get hampered, without professional peace, you won't be finding it a good livelihood. You won't be finding a good ambience in the office. Your salary won't increase. It may decrease actually. So again, that is also not done. So the most important is work-life balance. It is easier said than done. Let me tell you, it is easier said than done. It is the more thing, because work and life, maybe balance is important, but it is the individual who has to figure it out how he can do this work-life balance. Another stress, you can do this. You can just put this course and level of stress that you can do it, and you can figure it out what is the stress level. Since we have done already one of the activities, so we are not going it. I will share the PPT. You can try it at home. The amount of factors that you get it. We have already done this. Common stressors or driving forces of the stress. Dr. Gray Brown, one of the licensed psychotherapists, says that one of the more common stress include relationship conflicts at home, new or increasing work responsibilities, financial strain, loss of loved ones. Already we have discussed, but these are the one thing that actually gives the more common stress active. Already we have discussed about the cognitive, that is decreased concentration or comprehension, behavioral, emotional, physiological, all those things we have discussed. So all these are the effects that we are doing. Now we will come to the concept of stress management. As it has been told, this is a wide spectrum. You cannot say this is an absolute spectrum. The thing that is good for you may not be good for me or someone else. So it is again a relative understanding that we need to figure it out how we can do it. So stress management is a wide spectrum of techniques and psychotherapies aimed at controlling a person's level of stress, especially the chronic stress, usually for the purpose of and for the motive of improving everyday functioning. So this is what your function is getting optimized. Many of you maybe are working on algorithms of optimization. Optimization means whatever you are today, you are getting a better result by applying those techniques. This is what comes to the related to stress management. So that is the first thing we need to figure it out, how we can manage stress. Managing stress can also happen to two tips. This is called the ABC model. Apparently it looks like an math equation, but this ABC model is developed by a psychologist, certain psychologist called Albert Ellis, which actually is very important if you can follow it. What he says that each adversity we face has three components: the A or activating event, the B or a belief about the event, and C, which is the consequence that results. And the model looks like a math equation. It is A plus B equals to C. And what we discovered is that A tends to be uncontrollable. So if you want to change the C, we have to examine the B. Reason is that, as I was saying from the beginning, the most important part is acceptance, where it has been telling the event. The first I have told the event, it is termed as activating event. First thing is the event. You cannot control it. You have got no control over the event. Keep in mind, your event will be controlled by you only and if your B or your belief or the acceptance part or how you react to the situation is governing the case. Otherwise, the event will be totally out of control. Unless and until you have that control over the B part, the C part is not in your hand. The C part is, I can say, the consequences is a stress. Any event that has happened, first you need to analyze it. Once you need to do the analyze part, then you think how I can change the event or how I can look at it. What are the results? What are the possibilities that can happen? There are the four possibilities actually happens. Any event, whatever is happening, will have got four possibilities, not more than that. It will be more than your expectations. It will be less than your expectations, or it will be equal to your expectations. It will be less than your expectations. So there are four outcomes: more than your expectation, equal to your expectation, less than your expectation, and last but not the least is opposite or the wayward towards whatever you expected, totally wayward or opposite to what has happened. So any event in this world, whatever you are trying to do in your regular life, is actually an outcome of four things. Any event that is happening has got four. Whether you are taking it positively and giving you better result, whether it is giving the result as per your expectations, whether it is giving you less result, or whether it is giving you wayward. Once you analyze the event based on these four parameters, then you think what you can do. most of the times, let me tell you what happens is that if you have got a very hedonistic boss in your office or in your director or principal, whatever, that is his nature. Most of the times, even if you try, you cannot change much to it. But what you can change is how you are accepting that part. Next part is that whether you think that you need to do a change in your life or you change in a job or change in a venture. Once you accept it, you will come up. Say in a business company, what happens? A product they are developed, there are other competitors about the product. They keep on modifying the product, but it is not getting accepted in the market. Now, if he keeps on modifying the product in the hope that someday it will be accepted in the market, then more or less time he will be in a loss. Instead, if he accepts that, okay, this product is already there by other competitors who have got a better market, let me try to figure it out a different venture of product where I can find out a better business strategy. That is where the things will give you a more positive outcome. So you should have to know the options and what are the other challenges that we'll have at the options. And the options will only come up once and only you have this B part in you. Now, this is just a simple example we have given. This is a very basic example. Your friend turns down you for your dinner. That is A, the event. Now you believe no one likes you. That is the B. That's what is there in our control. And the consequences, as a result, you feel sad, rejected, or alone. This is where it comes. If you accept it, okay, he is turns down for me at dinner. Maybe he has got a problem in his house. Maybe he has to meet someone. Maybe there is some other issues which I don't know. The moment you logic yourself with these activities, the moment you will find that the C result is not of a dejection or a sadness. It is giving you more of a positivity with almost no effect. So this is the ABC model, is the model or the better model we can say, which we can have it. Humans have a tendency to unrealistically distort experience, which can lead down to a rabbit hole of negative emotions like the example given. We human, as I have told in my beginning of the lecture, our mind wanders, and this wanders actually gives us negativity. Suppose someone is not coming or someone is not picking the call, we may think he or she is not responding me, he or she is not giving me the necessary acceptance that I need to go, he or she is not giving me the recognition that I know. Then our mind gives all those negative emotions, and more or less not normally human mind is prone to negativities rather than positivities, and this is where the mind control comes up. Unless, and this is a practice actually, unless and until we train our mind, we practice our mind to have it, it will never be functioning the way, and once it starts functioning, it will definitely give positive results. Now, these are the common stress management strategies that will be seen. One is adaptive coping. This is very good. We can contribute to resolution of the stress response. That means what? Okay, this has happened. I will accept this and move ahead. I will adapt to this situation and perform. This is the adaptive coping which we can do yourself. Next is maladaptive coping, and this is a dangerous. Maladaptive coping means what? While you are stressed, to get it divert, you take recourse to someone takes recourse to smoking, drinking, drugs, or some negative activities. Once those things keeps on increasing, then it will not only take a toll on your health, but also both your emotional, mental, personal, and work-life balance. So maladaptive coping is very dangerous if you take recourse to such things while we are doing. Third one is active coping. Active coping means what? Suddenly you find, okay, this has happened to me. I am trying to find a resolution. And that resolution can be found by myself, or I may take the help of some counselors or some friends, some good humanitarians or Samaritans who can guide me in this part. So that These are the three types of coping that we need to. Most of the time, people take this maladaptive coping, which gives a very negative outcome to the problem. And these are the few resilience factors which can work very good. One is positive role models. We can definitely look someone. Role models need not to be any celebrity. Role models is someone from your own community, someone whom you are seeing regularly. You may find a role model in your parents. You may find role model in your teacher. You may find role model in a colleague. Anyone whom you think has got a balanced life, you can take that and try to follow. Optimism, this is very important. Any event that is happening, how much negativity, you have to have that belief that I have to overcome to it and happening. Humor, this is also another thing. Suppose all of the academicians, while we go to the class, some students sitting at the back gossips. Someone makes some sound. Someone coming late in the class. This all we find it in a regular, yes or no? Instead of scolding that particular person regularly, which will not only hamper your mood, it will also hamper the flow of the class. If you continuously try to scold those persons regularly, it will not only hamper the mood, but the flow of the class. Rather, why don't we crack a joke? Why don't we bring that person who is trying to sleep by clapping a joke, so that he or she finds a more interest in the class? Those are the things that we can do it. And the last and most important is spirituality is more not related to religion, I must say. Spirituality is more taking recourse from your inner self, understanding your inner aspects, spirituality. And last one is the social support. This is very important. We should give a lending hand to each and everyone who is around us. Instead of blaming someone, why don't we try to figure it out? What is his or her problem? May not be we can give any solution to the problem, but to have that hand back at our back will definitely give some support to the system. So support is extremely important. Anyone, any question? I am hearing some sound. You can interact something.
कितना बढ़िया मसाला खिलाया.
And these are the some effective steps. Set realistic expectations, exercise regularly, eat healthy, get adequate sleep, maintain your work leisure, positive reframing, and enhance social support. Now, let us do one of the exercise or one of the things which is proven for stress management, that is called my breathing exercise. Can you hear me? I am hearing some sound. If you want to share something, you are free to share it. I am hearing some sound. Someone wants to say something.
कंडोलेंस कितने बजे बोला उसने? क्या
Please mute yourself.
जरा रजिस्टर देना भैया.
Please mute yourself. Is my screen sharing? Can you see this? Can you see the screen sharing?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Can you see this?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. What we do is that, let me tell you, instead of doing or listening something, let us do some activities. And one of such activity which we recommend, or which is a very common thing, maybe some of you are doing it in a regular exercise, but we can do it, that is called a Meditation is something which you can do tomorrow. There is a session of meditation. Method of relaxation and reflection. Let us do some breathing exercise. Why don't we start with doing some breathing exercise, a small few breathing exercise, and see how it goes on. Can you do it now? So let us start to do some breathing exercise right now.
Yes, sir.
All of you, first, put your hand on your belly and your chest. Put your hand, one of the hand on your belly and your chest. Your next objective is, first I am telling you, then you can repeat it. Breathe in. While you are breathing in, your belly should get inflated. And while you breathe out, your belly should be deflated. So put your hand on your chest and your belly. Take a deep breath. Count to 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then breathe out. This is the first step we will be doing, and we can repeat this around, say, 7, 8 times or 10 times. Let us do this first together. Put our hand on the belly and on the chest, then we can breathe in. And do this very slowly and deeply. And try to take your inhalation from the belly, not from the upper esophagus, upper larynx. Breathe in and breathe out. Fill up your belly like a balloon while you breathe in, and then slowly breathe out. Continue this for a minute or so. Make sure your belly is getting inflated while you breathe in, and it is getting deflated while you breathe out. Feel the breathing with your hands, both in the belly and your chest. Okay. I think this has given a bit of more relaxation than what was there earlier. Anyone is having any difficulties in breathing? Anyone is having any difficulty in breathing?
No, sir.
Okay, next sort of breathing technique that we will be employing is, all of you are familiar with the sinusoidal waveform?
Yes, sir.
All of you are familiar with the sinusoidal waveform?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now, this is a sinusoidal waveform. Okay. Your breathing in and exhalation should follow the pattern of this sinusoid waveform. Your breathing in and your breathing out should follow this pattern of sinusoidal expiration. How? While you are breathing in, it should be rising to this peak. You imagine that you are breathing in this sinusoidal pattern. You think that you have reached the peak.
Yes, sir.
Then you breathe out and think you have reached the peak. Then again you start breathing in and reach the peak. Like this way, you follow this sinusoid. Breathe in up to this much, breathe out. Close your eyes, visualize the sinusoid waveform, and try to change your breathing at the peak point. Continue this for 1 or 2 minutes. and then see how you are feeling. This should be a smooth transition between both the phases. So close your eyes. Take a deep breath. Visualize the sinusoid in front of you, and then try to follow that waveform. While it go up, slowly you breathe in, and slowly you breathe out. You can feel that you are going uphill and downhill. Again, that will also be going good. While you are breathing in, think like that. Visualize a sinusoidal wave for a hill climbing up and down in your mind, and try to do it. Do it for a couple of minutes. Your body should shrink down totally and the air should be exhaled completely, which will give you more relaxation than what you are after a long day. Is your mind wandering in this feature? If someone's mind is wandering while you are doing this breathing technique, is your mind wandering while you are doing this breathing technique? Anyone's mind is wandering in this breathing technique? It may happen. If it happens, then I will ask you, if someone's mind is wandering even while you are doing the breathing, instead of getting focused, you can put a count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in your mind while you are going up. Again 3, 2, 1, 0 in your down, like that, because that will keep you engaged on that counting, which will help you to continue with the breathing part. Okay, fine. Okay, have you done this? Next breathing exercise is, what we'll be doing is that we'll be breathing in for 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you count it. Then you hold the breath for next 5 to 7 and then breathe out for another 7. Breathe in for 5. If someone is having any asthma or something, they can reduce that count to 3. But try to breathe in for 5, make a mental count, hold for another 5 seconds, and then breathe out for 7 seconds. So 5, 5, 7, that is the pattern we'll be doing. 1, 2, 3, 5. Another 7. So this you practice for another 1 or 2. Breathe in 5, hold for 5, and breathe out for 7. So 5, 5, 7. Let us do this for 5 times. Slowly you should do this. You should not jump 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it should be in a smooth count. Once you mastered over this art, then instead of counting, you should focus on anything particular or any blank, then you can do it. But without this initial phases, you can start it just on keeping this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 count. What it will do is that it will engage your mind and prevent it from wandering. But you should be slow enough. And the last breathing exercise that we'll be doing is we should be breathing through our nose. You can put your mouth down, you can breathe in one of the nose and breathe out through one of the noses. In between, you can close your nose, hold for 3 seconds, then again breathe out. This exercise you can repeat for 10 counts. We are just discussing very brief in a short section, which will help you to take control of all the stresses or whatever is happening throughout the day. So follow these steps. Hold, breathe out. Follow this step for the next 10 counts, and then we can okay. The last technique which I am saying you, this is called progressive muscle relaxation or PRM, progressive muscle relaxation. What you can do is that you stress your muscles and relax it simultaneously. This will help you. Now, since I am not sure whether I am able to show you in the video or not, first, all of your joints, one of the joints, you try to contract it, then try to give it a relax. Be it your jaws, be it your eyebrows, frown like eyebrows, your hand, your joints in the leg, your waist, whatever joints you are there, try to contract it with as much pressure as possible, as if you are putting maximum stress to it, and then trying to relax. You should do this one of the joints separately, and at the last you should all the joints together, contract yourself like this, hold it for 5, and then relax yourself. This will allow you a positivity and a relaxation to flow through your spines, which will help you to get things more relaxed in your environment or whatever you are doing. So at the end of the day, you may practice this type of exercise so that whatever stress you are having in the office or whatever before going to sleep, this will actually put more help in you so to get it relaxed. This is called progressive muscle relaxation. What you will be doing is that you are stressing all your joints muscles together and then you are releasing it. You can try this once. I cannot able to show you because it's a video, but I can show you like this joint. You can together you pull it yourself and then you can release it so that it gets relaxed. Hold it for 5 count of 5 to 6 how much you can, then you release it. Don't release it instantly. 5 to 7 counts you hold it, then you release it. So now we have done these exercises. Now I would like to ask some questions from you. If you want to share something, if you want to have some discussion, some questions, you are free to ask me. I'd like to hear from you. Anyone wants to share something or anyone having any questions, you are feel free to ask. Sir, if I feel exhausted after a few hours of work, then what to do? Best thing is that to take a break. You should not do the work continuously. Once you are feeling the point of exhaustion, take a break, do some walking activities, focus your mind somewhere. You look at the nature at a far away place. Take a break of 3 to 5 minutes or maybe 10 minutes. Then again come back and start the work. Don't overburden yourself. That is the first thing. You have to do it while we are doing it. Anyone having any more questions?
Sir, we do hear of many techniques of sound for stress management.
Yeah.
Sir, but in the absence of expert doctor, I will say, are these not dangerous for the human beings without knowing its side effects and other issues?
No, whatever we have tried or seen this, these are extremely relating to lifestyle, which will not affect anything negativity. There are few things where the psychologists or the doctors say which can affect, which I have not shared or anything, which will be only should be practiced under the supervision or the guidance of a doctor. These things are very much popular, or you can do it without any hesitation. Only thing, breathing exercise, if you have a asthma, your count should be less. Once you increase, your count should be more. This is what you need to do, nothing more. This won't affect anything negatively. So what to do if you are stuck at work in between something? The problem is that this is called the time management. You have to give the priority of the work that you want to do it, then you give other works a go. Otherwise, you cannot do all of the works together and it will give you more. So you have to prioritize your work, what you want to do. Do that first, then do the accordingly the second, third, fourth one in a sequence way. So thank you everyone. Thank you for joining the session. Thank you. My email ID is there with you. If you feel you want to, you can write to me. Thank you. Thanks a lot.